I mean, what I am also surprised about is him putting the voice of the distant star.
Yeah, what the fuck, Kevin?
Because like,
what is this thing?
So this
Makoto Shinkai.
This is Shinkai Makoto's first directorial debut. It was it was a short film. I think it was like 20, 30 minutes or something. Kind of mecha, but also including a lot of like the Shinkai-isms of like, you know, lots of emotional scenes and stuff like that. It does have a good soundtrack, to be fair.
Does it? I don't remember.
I remember the soundtrack being pretty good, but the problem is that I barely remember the plot because
it was shit.
Because it was not very good.
Because Makoto Shinkai didn't learn how to do plots until Your Name.
Yeah.
Is he the director who keeps making the same movie? Or is that okay?
Weathering with You, 5 centimeters per second.
Okay, well, I mean that's a very generalization what I said, but that's
it
generally makes very similar things.
Yeah, no, because I remember
you're not gonna believe it. His next film is a romance.
Okay, I can figure that one out.
Well, he does like different variations, but I remember before Your Name.
Different variations.
It's almost more insulting. I think you say, he does
the same thing. He changes it up sometimes.
His new. I actually watched his newest film over Christmas, and it was like,
the Suzume.
Yeah. That was kind of felt like Shinkai was like, I'm gonna try making a Ghibli film. Right. That's what it felt like. Yeah. And then there was romance in there. And that was the part that actually was the weirdest part.
Well, no, because before he did Mirai, which was another one that
that's the other director.
Oh, that's
Mamoru
Hosoda. Sorry, my bad.
But before that he did, what's the other Radwimps fucking thing?
Weathering with You.
Weathering with You, yeah.
I liked Weathering with You.
Yeah, a lot of people like that movie.
I preferred it over Your Name.
I
did not.
Yeah, but you have a boner for Your Name. So
I just think that here's the thing about Shinkai, because I am a big fan of Shinkai and I'm very familiar I've watched everything that he's put out. Something that was always strong in his works pre Your Name was that he always had I could always tell the idea and the emotions and the feeling that he wanted to put across in his films.
Yeah.
Like that was always something that really resonated with me no matter what Shinkai did, including Voice of a Distant Star as well. And the thing that I always thought he was missing was he would always have this idea or emotion that would resonate with me, but the plot would always be fucking boring. You know, it would always.
Yeah. In my opinion, it was more like, you know, because my favorite Shinkai film is 5 centimeters per second, but not because I think it has like a really good plot. It's more so the fact that like as you said, like Shinkai's movies a lot of the times were not like a singular story that was being told. It was kind of just like a collection of emotions, just like kind of stitched together.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
5 centimeters per second. I think it's a beautiful idea for a story.
Yeah, but there's no story.
What's the story?
There's no story.
What is the compelling like plot line of that? You know, and
why is it called 5 centimeters per second?
Because that's how fast it felt the story was going.
It's called 5 centimeters per second because that's the speed at which a cherry blossom petal falls. That's legitimately why it's called 5 centimeters per second, because the cherry blossom falling motif is used a lot in that movie.
Yeah, but I feel like he discovered he discovered something with Your Name, where he took all of some of these ideas and emotions and he weaved it into what I thought was a pretty compelling plot line. And I thought that was the only piece of the puzzle he was missing.
Sure.
And then he found that with Your Name, and then he was like, I don't know how to do something else other than some kind of like the same kind of ideas as that. So like one thing I respect about Suzume is that he tried something new. It's definitely different from Weathering with You.
That's good.
I would have liked more if it actually did not have any romance in it. Funnily enough,
you're asking Shinkai to not do romance.
Yeah. I thought that was the least interesting part of that plot.
It's like asking light novel authors to not do incest. Not gonna happen.
well, funnily enough, I always thought the romance part. You guys have seen Your Name, right?
Yeah.
I also thought
no.
You never seen Your Name?
No. I've had this struggle honestly with watching anything romance related in anime.
Yeah.
And I don't have this problem with normal like Western media. I just find I don't know what it is about
Japanese
interpretation of romance stories that I just don't connect with.
Really?
A lot of them I just don't care about.
I'm completely the opposite.
Yes.
I see a Western romance story and I'm like, you know, it's just like
except the Notebook. Notebook is banger. It is. It's my favorite. Unironically, it is my favorite Western romance film. Like, all these women fucking cry about, like, oh, Titanic is the most fucking blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, it's just a fucking ship sinking.
Well,
Who cares?
that kind of romance, I don't really fucking care about much either. That's
Notebook was actually
that's very like angelical Christian interpretation of romance.
I don't
everything
know
is love at
if
first
this
sight.
is a hot take, but the Notebook gave me the feeling of a Japanese interpreted romance story.
How so?
In the sense that it's like, if the Notebook ever got an anime adaptation, I could totally see Shinkai doing it. Because it gives that same feeling of like the Notebook having this, like, it has, unlike a lot of Shinkai films, it does have this coherent story, but there's so many different emotional points that feel very Shinkai in the way that, like, how the characters change and develop and stuff like that. I mean, like, for one, it's just a really solidly written story, in my opinion. I think the only reason why it's had this stigma is because it's the fucking relationship tester movie that everyone talks about, right? But when I actually finally sat down and watched it with Aki, I was like, wow, that was actually a fucking beautiful movie. I cried in the Notebook, bro. Like,
I think I watched the Notebook too.
It was a great film.
I too watched it.
And
it was, I don't remember much about it.
It wasn't Japanese, so I didn't feel anything.
Channing Tatum was good in it.
Sorry?
Channing Tatum was good in it.
Channing Tatum?
Isn't it Channing Tatum?
It's not Channing Tatum.
Wait, who is it in the Notebook?
It's not Ryan Gosling.
It's
wait, was there another movie around that time with Channing Tatum? That I remember.
Wait, it was Ryan Gosling, wasn't it?
Was it Ryan Gosling?
Was it Ryan Gosling?
I just kind of
it's
like
that guy.
I just kind of like.
What's the guy? Yeah, it's Ryan Gosling.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Fuck, there must have been another. Because I remember I was dating this girl and she forced me to watch like 3 of these films and they all blended into
that
one
had
in my
Channing
head.
Tatum in it?
Well, at that time, I swear.
21 Jump Street?
No, I swear there's a movie. Because before before Channing Tatum was a comedy actor, he was doing romance only.
Was he?
Do you remember this?
No.
I remember this.
Yeah, Channing Tatum was the romance guy.
I think I found out about Channing Tatum through 21 Jump Street.
That was when he started to like.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That was when he started to like pivot. But before
that's
that,
when he wanted to like
he was
break
like
his
the
image.
American like
Sweetheart.
romance go-to
Yeah.
heartthrob.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, I did not know that.
That's why he did a bunch of weird films to try and kind of get out of that notion.
Oh. Jeez.
What American or what Western romance stories do you like?
When I said this out loud, and I know that we were talking about it, I was trying to think in my head because I knew you were going to ask me this, and I'm trying to think of a piece of media that I think did romance really well.
Oh, what's the fucking Jim Carrey one?
Eternal Spotless Mind.
Eternal Sunshine of Spotless Mind. That's a romance, technically.
I love, and I swear, I feel like I haven't seen this ever in a, and maybe that you can correct me because I'd love to be wrong about this. There's rarely ever stories about romance going horribly wrong.
That's why I like my fucking romances, man.
No, yours doesn't go horribly wrong. No, I think what Connor's talking about is that it seems like it's going in the right direction, and then it ends up going horribly wrong because the protagonist
as it so does in life.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Your one is.
What are you talking about?
Oops, I stuck my dick in my little sister.
Your one is your
Volume
one.
4.
Your one goes wrong from minute 1.
No, it doesn't go wrong.
Okay, this is a horrible example, right?
Yeah.
But I really fucking love how they deal with romance in Peep Show.
Are you fucking serious?
Where it's this fucking mess of a comp because romance is super messy in real life.
That's one step away from the fucking dentist system, man.
That's so fucked up. But there's I love the whole arc with like Mark getting married because in this Peep Show he gets married to this woman that he doesn't really know if he wants to get married to, but he just thinks it's the right thing to do.
Sure.
And then he realizes it's a fucking horrible idea and he didn't want to get married.
Yeah.
And I kind of love that they did a story that like in Western media, we can have a bunch of these stories about stuff like that. I feel like in anime, there would never be a show like that. There would never be a show where a guy gets married, turns out he doesn't like his wife, and they would commit to it in a way that would actually make you think, hold on, these guys are horrible people. It would make you think like, oh, his wife is a demon lord, that's why he doesn't like her. It's like they can never make an like just unlikable characters that we can figure out that we don't like. It's like, hey, this is a character you shouldn't like.
I think
and
it's
they tell
because
us.
I think it's because it just hits too close to home for a lot of
But
Japanese people.
that's what I want.
But Japanese don't want that.
How many Japanese people, right, are in fucking loveless marriages? Why can't we get a fucking anime about a loveless marriage?
Why
I would love
that's
that.
why shows like Agretzko was so not popular in Japan,
I
because
know.
it's too close to home, and Japanese people don't want to watch
But
anime
isn't
for that
crazy
reason.
that it was about fucking animals?
Yeah, but there was
still like, well, this is too real.
But they were still like, yo, Haida is totally me, dog.
This guy said he doesn't like work. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I'm based on what you said, Con. I'm gonna say something fucking outrageous.
Okay.
All right.
You want escapism?
No, fucking Rent a Girlfriend, man. That is almost exactly without the marriage part, but with the everyone being assholes.
Yeah, but here's where you're gonna lose him. They're all high schoolers.
Well, okay, no.
University students, actually.
Well, they're all university students, but it's the suspension of disbelief is to a degree where I'm like, I think this is silly. But I think if it was grounded in some reality. Like, how come every single goddamn love triangle in an anime has to be so corny and stupid? Why can't it be an actual love triangle? Like,
what do you mean?
Where they have to actually they would have to actually explore the mechanics of what it would actually mean to have to juggle this realistic love triangle and
that's
how
why
fucked up it would be.
That's why Golden Time is one of my favorite romances, because it did exactly that. In my opinion, that's probably the most realistic depiction of a love triangle. They
also did that in Ichigo 100%.
I mean, I think the problem is that also a lot of the times, if you were to really depict an actual love triangle, you probably wouldn't like the protagonist much.
Yeah. And then you end up with school days.
Yeah. So how do you juggle that? But I feel like that could be and why Golden Time is so compelling, because it tries to do something different and doesn't play the safe route of, in the romance, here's what's going to happen. Here's the two people are going to get together. It's all going to be very happy. Oh, maybe, and my pet peeve is that they're like, this romance is tough. Or how do we throw some spice into this romance and make it kind of difficult? I don't know, fucking kill that kid or kill someone else around them that makes them have to be sad, as opposed to having some actual problems stem from their romance. Like, let's make the problem come from an outward source, not something that they're having to deal with. Yeah. And I feel like that's a much more mature way of approaching romance that we are a little more inclined to exploring in a Western way. But I don't think we do as like a good job either. But I feel like we just do not get this flat out at all in anime. And that's kind of the reason why I'm not too huge into anime.
Yeah, I think
romance anime.
Yeah, I think just in general, everything you described.
I don't want everything to be depressing, by the way. I'm just saying I would like to be more mature.
I actually would. Give me more depressing romance stories.
I think
the reason it works for me in anime is because there is that suspension of disbelief. Because I think I have a lot of the same problems that you have with romance. Yeah. Except when I see real actors, I'm like, this ain't real. This is like some. No. When I see real actors, that brings it out. Brings me out of the story even more, because with anime, it's like an animated medium. Something in my brain just thinks, okay, you have a higher suspension of disbelief just because you know that this is kind of like a fantasy cartoon world. But when I see real actors and something doesn't replicate real life how I know it, that actually makes the intricacies of what doesn't work.
That's crazy.
Come out even more for me.
I feel the opposite, because I feel like when I'm watching a movie and there's some really talented actors, and just seeing all the little body language that they're doing to really sell this emotion or what they're thinking, I think that's just something that you just cannot replicate in anime, because you can't have all these tiny little body movements. They all have to be deliberate. Whereas an actor can kind of just put in these little, maybe an arm movement, maybe a tongue in the, like, literally like, I don't know, like little, really tiny little body movements that we just can't express in anime. That can really sell an emotion or a scene or doubt.
Well, I would go the opposite way, where, animation is a different form where you can express a certain idea or a certain emotion in a different way than any real actor can. You can draw expressions, you can exaggerate movement and emotions without making it feel like it's out of place just because it takes place in a world of cartoons. So it's
I think it totally, for me, I'm kind of in between you guys, where for me it just totally depends on the actual story that is taking place. I think some stories works better in animation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some stories work better in live action, and I don't really have a preference.
I mean, that's why I generally prefer live action stuff for romance, just because I find that those very slight body movements really sell romance. They The little things that actors
I get
can
it.
do. and the way
I
they
had
can,
that
like,
feeling
scenes.
when I watched the anime version of I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, and then I watched the live action version of it.
Yeah.
I way preferred the live action version of it because of what you said.
Yeah,
Where
you
it's
can
like,
add a lot more to it.
yeah,
that
there's
you just
there's
can't.
like the feeling of the emotion was just so much more potent with real
Yeah.
people as opposed to the anime.
But there's some stories that I would absolutely want more in anime than I.
Oh, totally.
Just how it goes.
Interesting.
yeah. Other than that, though, I mean, Ghost in the Shell, Akira, amazing soundtracks. Totally get it.
Yeah.
The Lugia movie, I guess that's just nostalgia for Kevin.
He is a Pokemon
It was
fan.
Entei was the third one, right?
Entei was the third
Entei
one.
was the third
That
one.
one
yeah.
was pretty good, but I remember not being as solid as the other two. But I know a lot of people love the Entei movie.
Yeah, and the Celebi movie as well. That one was.
And then
also
there was
good.
the Unknown movie.
The Unknown movie.
Wasn't there a movie about the unknowns? Pokemon? Am I crazy?
I don't know. I haven't seen all
Is
of
there a
them.
movie? I swear there's a movie about the unknowns. And then fucking
I think the last
Lucario got his own movie.
Oh, yeah.
I think the last one I actually remember watching was.
Oh, maybe it was. Oh, yeah, it might have been the
Oh, it
third
must
one,
have been
actually.
the third one. Yeah.
The Unknown, because I think the Unknowns played a huge part in that movie.
The last one I watched was the Celebi movie.
That was a good movie, too.
That was great.
And then there was there a Latios and Latias one?
Yeah.
Fuck me, bro. They printed money. Printed money.
Hey man, good on
All
them.
right, well, solid
Yeah,
list
all
from
right,
Kevin, though,
solid
overall.
list from Kevin. Definitely, this is your composer's favorite anime kind of list.
Yeah. Is that Ghost in the Shell the movie? It is.
Yeah,
right?
it is the movie,
I haven't
which-
watched the movie, only the series.
It's good. It's not.
It doesn't matter. Everything about Ghost in the Shell, no matter what, except for maybe the live action movie, everything slaps pretty hard. As
Okay.
well.
Oh, yeah.
What
Yeah.
about the 2045, the new one?
Oh, we don't talk.
Yeah, we don't talk about that
Okay, I
one.
forgot about that one.
The backflipping up the stairs.
Yeah.
is still my favorite.
If it's a Ghost in the Shell, like anime,
Yeah,
then-
like an actual
Yeah.
anime. Yeah.
Still my favorite scene ever when the guy gets all his money from getting the 1 yens from bank transactions.
Oh,
Still my
yeah.
favorite scene ever.
Yeah. So good.
All right.
All right.
Next list.
Good job, Kevin.
good job. All right.